My name is Steve Bagley and I'm Head of Collections here at Coventry Transport Museum. Basically my job is to look after all the collection, everything you see, and responsible for all the exhibitions and things that you see on display. Well, it's important for Coventry to have a transport museum because for the last 130, 140 years making of transport objects has been Coventry's main industry. It started off with bicycles in the 1860s and then progressed into motor cars, and up until quite recently, the motor car was the mainstay of Coventry's economic prosperity. It's had its ups and downs, but this museum actually reflects that heritage. Coventry has had over 140 car makers, over 500 cycle makers and numerous motorcycle makers. So it's our job as a museum to reflect that heritage, to reflect that history, tell stories about that history and tell the people of Coventry and beyond Coventry, those stories and why the transport industry is important to the city, because like it or not, without the transport industry, Coventry would be a very different city. They show a sort of technological advancement in the motor car. How racing cars have then led into the everyday car. We're not doing that in the gallery at the moment where we have, but in the future that's what we want to do. We want to sort of explore how the motor car has driven technology forward in motoring. So I think that's why it's important. One, very important. And the other thing is, of course, is they're fantastic to look at. You could almost look at, I've had thoughts about making the gallery almost like an art gallery, just blacking out all the walls and just lighting them and saying that, look, okay, yeah, they are technology, they do a job, but aren't they fantastic to look at as well? We have two very specific cars I really like, and that is the two Lee Francis cars. Lee Francis were a small Coventry company who made some fantastic sports cars and saloons, but in the 1920s they made a couple of, they had a whole racing program, and in the collection we have a 1928 what they call Lee Francis Hyper. It's a supercharged 1500cc car from 1928, and that car won the TT, the Ards TT, the Ulster TT in 1928, and had a fantastic racing history after that. And the other car we have is a 1929 Lee Francis, and that won the 1500cc category at Le Mans in 1929. So not only are they fantastic to look at, but they're really important cars in terms of road racing history.